Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Sharketing podcast. I am co-host Matt Wurst, doing solo duty here from Cannes. Valerie is out with clients walking the Croisette. I'm not sure where she is, but hopefully she's having fun wherever she is. But I am joined today by a very special guest here at a very special location. We are here at the amazing Sport Beach. Thank you to the Stagwell team for hosting us. And I am joined by Jody Hallman, who's the VP of Integrated Marketing at Perdue. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here this
So
week.
I am excited to have you here, but I learned something recently that you have never been to Cannes before.
Never.
This is a first trip for you, and I want to know everything about everything that got you here and why you decided to make this the year that you made your Cannes debut.
Oh dear. Well, of course, when I was born, no, I won't start there. No, I think really the biggest thing that made this year the special year is we have been, as an organization, Perdue Farms has a legacy in advertising. Our founding father, literally, Frank Perdue, started advertising, taking a commodity, putting his name on it, created branding in a space that otherwise never had a brand to it. And I've had the luxury of working with them for the last 16 years on that legacy. But we also know times are changing. How you interact with brands, what you want to know about them, how you want to learn about them, we have to change our mentality, right? Frank could just sit on a screen and people trusted him. He was like, I put my name on it, you can call me out if it's not bad quality. That was the luxury of it. Now they want to know a lot more. And we have the great honor of having still tons of the family in the business. But they give us this kind of latitude to now go and find innovative ways to make sure that we're telling that story in a way that is inventive, it is next generational, and we're reaching, that next set of buyers that are going to still continue to consume chicken 4 times a week.
Well, we are in the thick of this amazing week. It is a little warm. You're experiencing Cannes in all of its beauty, its glory. I don't think it's like this all year round. The humidity. The temperature conditions may not be ideal for poultry storage, but that's another story. But as we're getting into this week and as you're meeting incredible people and seeing these brilliant innovators and creatives, are there any standout takeaways, thoughts, innovations that you've seen that you have to bring back with you to the farm?
Yeah, one of the biggest spaces that I definitely came in with some interest, and I am already only on day 2, leaving with excitement, is in the audio space. Audio is a really interesting thing for us, and
we're recording audio and video.
Yeah, but
this is the medium that people are discovering content, right?
Maybe a byproduct of me having 3 Gen Z in my own household and knowing that there is a constant AirPod always in an ear. So I get half of their attention. Yeah. But there's also such magnitude that a brand can then have in that space and really getting it right. So recently we really took the effort to really canonize what is Perdue's sound. So we created our first ever sonic brand, our sonic logo.
Does it have any clucking in it?
No.
No, because you guys are bigger than just poultry. There is a protein story here. So what is the sound of protein?
Well, we call it Clean Eats.
Clean Eats, okay.
So you can find it actually in our latest video content and, video hitting broadcast in just a couple months, but it's been in OLV and CTV for a bit. And and we are now going to take that into truly being in an audio space, because the idea of this next gen needing to always see is just not realistic. They need to hear it. They need to know it. And they need to feel it. Well,
and it's an interesting insight, and it's not something that your traditional marketer or even someone who's been working in the space as long as we have, not to age us collectively, but innovation can come from a number of different sources. Where do you draw from or get that inspiration, right? There was an insight there, obviously. Was it something that came from within your own home, or was it from the data team that you have?
I think it was a mixture of both, right? It's also, I am a huge advocate for data, but sometimes you just need to observe. You spend time in places where that next gen consumer is. Spending time, even for us at Perdue, we're based in Salisbury, Maryland. There's Salisbury University. Their business school is the Frank Perdue School of Business. I love going over there and just sitting on a bench and kind of watching them and understanding how and why this younger generation is making some of their choices, not just always food-based, but just how they're taking in and engaging each other.
Well, it's what I find fascinating is we've talked to so many marketers over the years who have worked in retail and they've worked in entertainment and all these amazing verticals. But one of the stories I like to hear from them is how they get, into the weeds. Sometimes they're working at the register of a store, right? Have you gotten, I don't want to say your hands dirty, because in this industry, I know that can mean a lot of different things, but in the almost nearly 2 decades that you've been working with the company, have you gotten to experience a little bit of what others in the company do that inform how you market, how you think, how the audience perceives you?
Absolutely. It has been an incredible journey that I've been able to be on to learn not just about what we, do to, produce fantastic chicken dino nuggets, but
they are fantastic. My kids can attest to that as well.
But it's really knowing the story. And actually, when I first joined the company, I did go and join the company to work on just frozen fully cooked. And I was going to be selling nuggets, and I was going to tell you how many that the consumer wanted in a bag and what shape and size and all that fun stuff. And I started to ask a ton of questions, because we are such a vertically integrated organization. And the more I asked questions, the more then I was actually offered a ton of opportunity then to take on more responsibility in the spaces I never thought I would be interested in. The ready to cook side of chicken and how intimate that relationship is for a consumer, how powerful chicken is, but also how mindless it is. And really unpacking that and understanding, and then learning from so many people in our organization that have a tenure that is unseen anywhere else. And these farmers knowing their families and their multi-generations and it's insane.
And I wanted to get into that because one of the key themes here that I've seen so far, we continue to talk about the creator economy. We talk about the role of authenticity in content creation as well as product development and marketing. And as the agricultural community evolves and embraces technology, in some cases ahead of, and in some cases on pace with, and in other cases behind, have you thought about or featured and told those stories? Like, do farmers want to be creators? Do they have a whole TikTok community? Is that something that you guys are learning and experiencing?
Yes, it's a great question. And we have some of the most engaged farmers. We have some that spend their own personal.
Is it TikTok?
Oh
yes.
my
okay.
good. We could.
Should we start that? Is that
here.
it? Are we doing it?
TikTok. Here.
Okay. I don't want to know what the dances are going to be. But I think we can come up with them maybe after dark. Yeah.
I still like the audio connection though too.
Of course, we gotta mix in sound with that.
Yes, we have been able to really kind of find this passion point. Most of our farmers select to work with us for a reason. They don't necessarily have to work with us. Right. They could work with a lot of people. Many of them, though, are generational, and we have some families that have been farming with us for 3 or 4 generations. And the great thing about that is they're passionate about it. They understand that we require of them to do extra work. We have extra steps. We kind of demand a quality level that the consumer wants. And we make sure that we deliver it. And so when we are asking our farmers to then do that and carry that through, they have to be passionate about it. And they want to talk about it. They want to explain to somebody else why they're not like everybody else, or why they're not the bad in the industry.
As brand marketers think about the key tenets and the requirements for success, there's passion and there's purpose and probably other P words that we could think up and concoct here. But the key outcome for so many is loyalty, right? You want to create this relationship with a consumer where every time they order, I was saying go to the supermarket, but maybe sometimes it's more ordering online and having delivery to your home or going into that store. The brand stands for, so much, the legacy, the history, the quality. The competition that you face, is it store brand? Is it like the local like butchers? And how do you compete with that when there is such a premium on to everyone telling these stories at the same time?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I would say our biggest area is really against store brands. And it's not because we also love our partners, right? We love our retail partners. What we like to think about, though, is that we're offering a choice. We're not necessarily going to be that brand that takes over and satisfies everybody's needs. But what we would like you to do is think about where your food comes from. Can that store brand answer that question of who the farmer was? Maybe. Doubtful, but maybe.
Depends who you ask in the store, maybe.
Correct,
but that's,
right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that that's the thing that we can guarantee. We actually know not only the farmer that raised your chicken, but we know the farmer that raised the food that fed the chicken. Because we're not just in the chicken business, we're in the agricultural business. So we have a line of sight all the way from the seed that went into the feed that goes all the way to the fork. And when you make dinner, we can tell you how that traces back. And I think that's probably the big thing is we don't feel the need to necessarily force that on everyone, but be inquisitive. Know where your food comes from, understand where this is. Also because it's a little at risk. There is a slow growth in farming. It is not something that's getting double digit, kind of adoption by the next generation.
No, but you have to realize, as someone who eats a lot of chicken and eats a lot of protein, it is a mass market. I can't think of many more products that would have higher volume, but turnover, right? It needs to be fresh. It needs to be delivered.
Yeah.
Is this something that as you were growing up, like you envision would be your career? Like you're a marketer, but you're also someone now who's in the agricultural business, and that's not something that many people grow up thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know where you grew up, but tell me your origin story in the remaining 45 minutes that we have. Or whenever we get kicked out because a more famous celebrity needs to use this recording space.
So I grew up in Philadelphia, and so I started actually my marketing career on a very Philadelphia brand, Tasty Cake.
I loved it. I went to Penn. So in Philly, I still remember the jingle. Marketing.
Yes.
Sound. Because I didn't have a TV in my dorm room. I remember the audio. There you go.
We had a huge radio campaign.
Nobody bakes a cake as tasty as a tasty cake.
Yes.
Boom.
And we re-recorded it when I was there for the first time. Yeah, it was quite a effort. So, but absolutely. But grew up really being able to sink my teeth into so many different areas of marketing.
Pun not intended, yes.
Correct. And do a ton of product innovation. The cycling in snack cakes is insane. You need to have new flavors,
So innovation is required, really? I would go for the apple pie or the...
It's so funny because there's just the staples that everybody really tends to, but they will always give you those 3 to 4 slots on every form that you better rotate and be something innovative or flavorful that is of the minute. And so I started there. I ended up moving a little bit, went completely into a different space, and specialty cheese took me out to the Lancaster County area. And so worked at the time, they were known as Bon Grand. Now it's BC USA, but got to work on things like Alouette, spreadable cheese, often on folks' charcuterie boards.
You've got the whole plate, the whole menagerie.
Yes. The one thing that I would say was the thread that has really held true is I've always been intrigued with all of the brands I've worked on have always been about freshness. There is nothing about them that didn't all deliver on that.
Well, freshness is a great theme because while we may not feel fresh because the can temperatures and humidity is high, there are so many fresh insights. There is so much fresh creativity that is being shared here. Is there anyone you want to meet, whether it's an amazing celebrity athlete here at Sport Beach or a fellow marketer that you have a lot of respect for and you are hoping to bump into here?
So I know I should go with the professional answer, but I'm gonna 100% channel Philly, and I am so excited to see Kevin Hart this week.
All right.
Go Birds.
He's here, and good luck. Now they travel with entourage. Used to be able to just bump into anybody, but now it's all very curated.
I heard maybe the Kelseys are here.
Yes, you might have another Eagle center, front and center. Last question, and I think you are the most qualified to answer this. It's the hardest question I think I've ever asked on this podcast. What came first, chicken or egg?
Eggs. Arthur Perdue started in the egg business. It was Frank that actually is the one that got him to move from eggs into chicken.
And that's no yoke. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jody, for being here with us. I've truly enjoyed getting to talk to you, get to know you. I'm already hungry for some poulet. Poulet? I don't know how you say it.
Poulet.
Poulet, yeah. Here in France, it's on every sandwich, but I'm ready to go get some fresh Perdue back home.
Yeah.
So thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Sharketing Podcast.